Listeners, we will have my dear sister. Actually, she's on the line. My dear sister, my colleague in cabinet, Thembi Sımelane, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development in the Republic of South Africa. We're talking. She's a woman in justice, like Justice Maya, Advocate Batoyi. There are women there. But we're talking access to justice for women. Welcome, my dear sister. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. What a beautiful show. Been tuning in. I think you have your next job cut out for you.
Yeah, you must tell the president.
I can definitely tell the president. Look, the second plan is already running here.
Tell me, my sister. Many of us in various capacities and just ordinary women, sometimes there's an outcry of access to justice. You are there at the helm, being the minister in the 7th administration. How do we say to women things are going to be better? I mean, you talk about women, babatlang maintenance court, bayango maintenance court, because they're trying to get the fathers to pay maintenance. You talk about women who are looking for divorce, young women who are saying we're spending a lot of money and it takes so much efforts and tedious process for me to get my divorce and be free. And sometimes some of them actually end up being killed by this man. Others are saying, I've been raped and I'm trying to find justice. What do you say to these women today as we celebrate Women's Day?
Well, as we celebrate Women's Day, I wish all the women of South Africa and beyond a great life, health, safety, security, but above all, women who will give them opportunities to be able to pursue their life economically and however they want their life to develop. And that is why our mandate is to assist them, not to be seized with things that they should be able to receive easily, like justice from government. Let me start from sexual offenders.
Yeah.
You will recall that the president in the 6th administration, President Ramaphosa, together with the Minister of Women, they signed with the group of civil society what we call a domestic violence strategy to assist women who are of sexual offenders. Already, hundreds of our courts have been reprioritized to deal specifically with the sexual offenders, having courtrooms which are specifically dealing with sexual offenders to avoid the delays, one, but two, to give women the privacy. Because if you are raped, you don't want to narrate that story in public for the whole world to hear or to listen.
Because it's secondary victimization
again. That is secondary victimization. But secondly, things like a court order is now linked with our priority crime system. Okay. So that we do not want our women to report. We actually now can report online. You no longer have to move physically to a police station. The weakness the system was having, which is why it's now linked to our priority crime investigation team, is that you will die with a court order, which means the justice will issue an order. The police will not necessarily be informed that Mamloko has received the order and the threat is coming in this direction. With regard to the maintenance, we have had a shortage, but maybe in the next week or two, we will be advertising around 220 post of maintenance clerks across the country.
Oh, that's brilliant, because it will really relieve a lot of parents,
but we are
mothers
also
especially.
Meeting Mamloko on Tuesday next week with a commissioner of receiver of revenue. Okay. Why? Men deliberately don't pay maintenance. Yes, to a lesser extent, women sometimes. They are employed. The system just give you an order in court that your partner, the father of your child, must pay you 500 rand a month, and it just doesn't pay. Yet he's employed. And we have a system in government which can tell if
that this person is employed.
We are then writing to the president to amend our regulation, which will allow us as justice not only to issue an order, and then you come back and we say to you, you are in contempt, but we do nothing.
We do nothing.
We will want any partner who doesn't support his or her child, according to the contempt of court, be punished financially, because we do not have spaces in our prisons to even keep people who are supposed to pay
to just do, because these are just simple things that, and sometimes, yes, we can go and say, but this is what people should just not even need government to help with. Society, people must be responsible, but we are here. And the other issue, Minister Sımelane, the issue of, because sometimes it becomes easier when you see people like you, when you know that there are women in the helm of where you are going to lodge your complaint. For example, we're all celebrating Justice Maya coming our Chief Justice at the end of this month. And it took us so long to have a woman Chief Justice. Now, that issue of ensuring in our courts that not every time when I walk into a court, I'm going to find a man and I'm worried whether this man will literally walk in my shoe and understand what I'm going through as I seek a divorce, as I seek justice for my rape case, as I seek justice for maybe a murder of my girl child, because they are being murdered, our young girls. And you go there, you find a man, you think, will he understand what I'm going through, my plight? I read a story as well over the weekend. Justice Maya was done an interview, and she says what gives her comfort, what gives her fulfillment is to see the faces of the women, the families who have found justice. And I think that's what we are advocating for.
That's what we are advocating for. Our statistics in terms of judges, by the way, I'm meeting both Judge Mlambo and DJP this afternoon.
The Pretoria High Court.
The Pretoria High Court. You might have read the backlog cases, particularly of road accidents, fund and sexual offences, get to be postponed over 6-7 months. We're trying to find that strategy to assist us. Already Judge Maya, Chief Justice designate, is getting a hand. Remember, she's a deputy.
Yes.
She knows these issues. And she has been at the helm of making sure that high courts prioritize these matters, including the commercial ones. Yes, of course, today we're talking specifically about what affects women. But we're seeing quite a lot of change, even in the appointments of judges, coming even from the recommendations of the very same maid. We're sitting at about 53% of judges female in South Africa as it is. We have around 258 judges. Of course, we intend to appoint more to deal with the number of courts that we are building with.
Actually, while you're talking about that, there's a positive one. The Gauteng High Court has got their online system of court cases where you are able to track your case and all those things. But the dates are still an issue. They are too long, far away. I think there are good stories that we could be able to reflect, Minister Sımelane, that there's modernization of our courts, and therefore we should applaud that while we're talking about the other side of it. But for me, let's come to the issue even of dates. In terms of getting dates, how will this improve as you meet with them this afternoon? Their backlog, not only on that, I think overall just cases there, the issues. And I remember one of the things we can say that we hear others, those who have been practitioners, to say is because of the number of judges that we have we lost a number of judges, especially in these critical courts, like your High Court? Because when we have lesser, the most victims, as we talk about gender-based violence, as we talk about access to justice for women, if there is taking long for them to access a court date, that affects their lives. They are not able to move.
Well, yes, the number is what necessarily is affecting us in the main. And we are done with our OSD program or process, which the PSA has concluded, and we will be in the process of appointing additional judges, particularly for the High Court cases where most of them are being referred. But remember, for the fact that there is Limpopo and Mpumalanga High Court now, beyond your Gauteng, your KwaZulu-Natal, in Durban and Maritzburg and all that, it has assisted in making sure that it deals with, but those shortages are seen even in those areas, like Limpopo, Mpumalanga, to make sure that there's very little referral. But Johannesburg, or let me say Gauteng, because of its population,
it's got a lot.
Killed extremely by the number of the judges. So you realize that we need about 2. But our meeting this afternoon is about looking at additional things like ours, appointing acting judges from the excess with the experienced magistrates that we have to be able to assist us and run beyond the normal hour of what we are naturally doing. To maximize on the hour of the day to take on more cases while we are recruiting.
Thank you very much, Minister Sımelane. I really think that we want to wish you well. And we are looking forward to you making sure that as women in South Africa rebuild our confidence in a justice system with the women at the helm, NDPP, Batoyi as a woman, understanding that prosecution has to happen, yourself from a policy point of view as a woman leading the sector, being able to ensure that the policies and the laws are in place, Justice Maya ensuring that our courts are serving women. And that will be, as we celebrate Women's Month, a victory for all women. Let's move to our traffic.